Today, we are going to spend our time very judiciously. Follow me, please. Don't cut. Follow to the end. Make sure you make other people see this video as you follow, because Finland must hear us. Finnish citizens are our major target in this program. They need to hear us so that they will protest to their government to support us, not only releasing our leader whom God sent to us. Especially in trying times like this, we need him. So as we go there, make sure you are hitting on the like button, you are dropping positive comments, because there is need for engagement. The YouTube must understand that there is engagement so that they will also support in promoting it. Join us, let us go there. All lovers of freedom all over the world, I greet you. I am Ekpa. You are watching us today from Biafran Radical Freedom TV. I am a proud Biafran who believe that every man has the same right his brother, his sister have to live. I believe in global justice system. I believe in the Igbo Biafran theory of Egbe Beru Gobere, Nkesi Biebe and Kukwapea. We are all human. Everybody who believe in justice, like myself, who believe that every man deserves to be free, that freedom should be the right of every creator, every man, every human. I greet you all. The good people of Scandinavia, the good citizens of Finland, I have come again to continue from where I stopped some 3 days ago in the program that I made, I did specifically for the Finnish people. In that program, I try to remind you that he who sow corn will definitely reap corn in a multiplying effect. He who sow a grain of corn, maize, will surely repeat, because it will germinate and bear several more seeds in a whole corn. There I try to tell you Finnish citizens to caution your government, tell your government not to be overcarried by any selfish interest, not to attract the wrath of nature, karma, so that you will continue to enjoy the peace God has given you people. The reason is because when a man who enjoys peace begin to eye terror or support one, the person is banking that same terror, because definitely the person must cash out from it, because it is in the coffer waiting for him or her to cash from it. All right, that said, today there are rumors flying that the European Union is busy arranging for some countries and some Scandinavian countries which Finland may be part of, that will be accepting accepting Biafrans as refugees, people who are displaced in their home country by war. So they are planning, according to the rumor flying, to accommodate so that it will not, they will be seen as people who are having compassion. They will accommodate Biafrans as refugees, as they are getting more and more displaced by the terrorists, bandits, and the evil people, the workers of iniquity that are busy invading the Biafran people's ancestral land. We pray that this ends up as a rumor. We pray it ends up as a rumor. But the way the rumor is flying, we hope those who are banking on evil are prepared to reap of it. I want to admonish every Finnish citizen again today to please tell your ambassadors in Nigeria to get their nose on the ground in the Nigerian state, especially the southern Nigeria and the southeast, south, which is the ancestral land of the Biafran people. Southeast, south, as they call it. And know and report back to you the evil that is going on there. An attempt by alien people who are totally alien to our land, who are invaders, to wipe us away from the surface of the earth. This agenda has been ongoing for a long time. In that 3 days ago program I did appealing to Finnish citizens, I was able to also tell you that I will, because of time, I will, in the next video or in the next program, show you some of those governors that were petitioning Simon Ekpa, your citizen, your fellow citizen, that he should be nailed, he should be thrown behind bars, he should be victimized, he should be just incarcerated. Those people, I have videos to show you about them and what is happening around them here today, but I will reserve it towards the end of this particular program. In the meantime, the IDP camps that the enemy have created in our land, in our once peaceful land, IDP camp, internally displaced persons camps, it is now fast replacing normal houses. IDP camps are now fast replacing normal houses in our land. Before, we were hearing of this only in the Middle Belt, where Christians are targeted. With the capture or adoption of Simon Ekpa, who was given to us by God himself, as intelligent, as smart as he was and is, he was able to contend or resist. He was able to contend and resist the terrorists, the invaders, who have long been making advances to hit us hard and wipe us out of the surface of the earth. As your government accepted to play along by arresting him, our land became very vulnerable. open to the attacks of these terrorists. You cannot tell us you are not hearing the scores of the humanizing activities, unaliving of innocent citizens, innocent villagers, the inmates, the people who naturally own the land. They are attacked on daily basis. In that video, I told you we are unable to access our farmland again. So this comes to show you, or this goes to show you, that automatically we are passing beyond social security. We are passing through food insecurity in the peak of it. The prices of goods, foodstuff, pharmaceutical are going in the high heavens. The prices are surging by the day. The ordinary man no longer can have a complete balanced diet a day, once a day at least. The ordinary man hardly now have a balanced diet once a day. We see you every now and then sympathize with the Jews in Israel, sympathize with the Palestinians, sympathize with the Ukrainians. That leads me to ask, does our dark skin make us not human? How come you sympathize and you open up, you come out with your chest open to support these people and ignore us? Even when your own citizen, who God sent to us to help us, was in your land, still trying to glorify your country, still trying to tell the world about the beauty of Finland, you still went ahead to play along to get him arrested. And since then, we keep on having loss of lives. Massive loss of life. I am addressing Finnish citizens today again, and I will still address you again until this appeals to your conscience to correct yourself. Because to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And as it is said that a teaching time says 9, the earlier you begin to have a reassessment of this whole situation, have a rethink of what you are told, or the whole situation surrounding Nigerian state and the Biafran people seeking to go, the better for you. These terror groups are busy advancing. They are not resting. They are not resting. Even the people who believe in one Nigeria, people who are of this, our region, who believe in one Nigeria, even when they are still pretending to believe in one Nigeria, because nobody wants to speak up again. If you talk, you are in trouble. If you talk, you are in trouble. The freedom of speech is no more free. These people, they have left Nigeria, but they still pretend to be one Nigerians because they don't want to be in trouble. Some of the people you saw who were prominent in campaigning for a certain candidate in the 2023 joke of election, in the run-up of the 20, those people whom you saw They were over the media, social media. Some of them are coming out today to cry because somehow it has affected some of their relatives or their loved ones, friends and loved ones. I will be showing you some video clips one after another. For instance, this our big brother here, look at him, listen to him for a moment.
The practical approach to mobilizing to curb insecurity. I'll share experience with you when I was state director in Bauchi. Most of you will remember an incident in Azari. A group of terrorists, the Boko Haram, then had invaded Azari. They were shooting in an attempt to kidnap, and the community chased them. They killed some members of the community, but the community members killed all of them. The last guy, Khalid, climbed onto a tree and was firing. The community stood, they were resilient, and they killed Khalid. Since that day, there has not been one terrorist attack in Azari. As a matter of fact, the former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, said, and I quote, "If we want to stop or curb this terrorism, we shall emulate the Azari example." Tafa Balewa also happened to be a local government in Bauchi that was always in flames. And the people of Bogoro and some part of Tafa Balewa, where the Sayawas are, rose up on one occasion. They knew their terrain better, climbed onto trees and mountains, and when the invaders came, they did not only repel them, they seized their weapons. And since then, you can attest to it that you hardly hear about Tafa Balewa again. What I'm trying to say, the practical approach to mobilizing people, is that you have to get everyone involved. You do not expect the Nigerian Army, police, DSS, to protect every Nigerian or every community. It is not going to work. In the US, if you visit someone in the house, you will be shocked that when the guy hears a police siren, he will just pull his drawer, bring out his gun and keep it. So one of my hosts did that, and I asked him, "Why are you putting gun here?" He said, "Well, if they are chasing someone and he enters my house, I'll shoot him first." And that is the layer we have to start thinking about. How can you create first line of defense? The military, police, and other security agencies are to deal with the bigger ones, the organized ones. But it is impossible for us to deploy it to every community in the country. It is unimaginable that any security agencies that has the resources to do it. So as we live here, we all belong to one community or the other. What we have to start experimenting is how we can make the community to prepare first, if the first line of defense for us. General Wahab said it clearly. And for me, there are 3 takeaways from his lecture. By the way, the general and I were guest speaker at one program in our office, so I'm not surprised at his dexterity. He has developed some sort of expertise in what it. But 3 things for me. He asked us a question: what is our own culture? Our culture is communal. We do things together. We festival together. ceremonies together, wedding ceremony, whatever. So why can't we fight some miscreants, some charlatans among us together? The community should say, you cannot come here. This is what Tafawa Balewa has done. If you go to that community to attack them, you'll be sorry for yourself. I challenge anybody to try it. And this is the way we have to do. We have to allow some level of armament for the communities, and they can serve as the first line of defense. Second takeaway from what the general said, whole society approach is not the first time we are hearing. But what I'm saying, the way to do it is when we live here, those of us who have some influence, the elites in society, discuss with your communities, come to us, get some sort of approval and guidance, and then we can stop these criminals. You can imagine you call sector, let's say sector 4 or whatever, sector of the army, to come to this community if there's an attack. Before they even arrive there, if they attack another community, what happens? This is what we should take away from here. And lastly, he said something very instructive. Okay, so last thing he said to us, which is quite important, is that we should not make this another talk show. And that's why this is my intervention. That security starts from you. There's nothing that is new. 1870 something, I can't remember. The French Revolution, in the street of Paris, they were beheading people. Yeah, we've had hijack of plane. We'll forget quickly. We've had the wet year syndrome. We had so many. There's some Matasini or whatever. There will always be security problem. So when people say this is security in Nigeria, as long as human beings exist, there will be security problem. The issue is the response. We have to take that mentality away. What is the security agencies doing? Who, apart from a tree, knows that they want to come and cut him and remain standing? Only a tree. We have to get the communities to rise and defend themselves first. And the time to start it is now.
Hi, my name is Magnus Soraka, and I am a Southerner. I have lived in the North for close to 60 years, and I'm using this opportunity to advise my brothers and sisters in the South that look.
All right. The person you just listened to giving this narrative and coming to this conclusion is the Nigerian DSS Director General, DSS Bulls, Mr. Adelolu Atosina Ajayi. He is the person that you just heard saying this. There is hypocrisy level that baffles me in the Nigerian state. The person you just heard this from his mouth is the DSS Director General. You know that position in Finland? It's almost like the boss of the investigative bureau of Finland. Yes. He said that just like what many other people I will play their voice, many Nigerian stakeholders, political leaders, military security chiefs, what they are saying, the man is agreeing with everything. That it is the time for Nigerian people to pick up arms and defend their land. This is what the DSS boss said with his own mouth. You just watched him. Yes. Before you watched the DSS boss, I forgot I first played Okay, I think this is it. He is saying that we should pick up arms. This is the same thing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, that was kidnapped in Kenya, which Kenya has come out to make it clear that it has no hand in the kidnap of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in their land, which is an obvious aberration in the international practice. It is a clear violation of international dealing between nations. It is a very clear one. Kidnap is part of terror. But this is what is done to our leader. After this was done, the European Union, where you Finnish people belong, has come out to say, release this man unconditionally. The Department of the United Nations has repeatedly called for his release. The African Union have called for his release. Different Nigerian socio-cultural organizations, including Afenifere, I will play these things here, I have the videos, called for his release. The UK Parliament, against the bunch of principalities in UK that are conniving with the Nigerian state to carry out the crime against us, have called for Nnamdi Kanu's release or his repatriation to UK where he is a citizen. Nothing has happened. Let me still use the opportunity to thank you for disassociating yourself from the rumors that fly all over the internet some 48 hours or 50 hours ago. Or some yesterday or a day plus now. We must thank you for that. We encourage you to keep distancing yourself from this, and we also encourage you to release Simon Ekpa to come and do what he knows how to do, to arrange the protection of our people. We are facing annihilation. There is underground plan for obliteration of the Biafran race, the Igbo race, the Ibibio race, the Efiko, the whole of the Biafran tribes, because of the overwhelming deposit of natural resources in our land. Finland, like every other nations of the world, need bilateral relationship that will be favorable to them. But this must not be done in a way that will attract karma, attract cause. This, I want you now to listen to the video that follows.
Hi, my name is Magnus Soraka, and I am a Southerner. I have lived in the North for close to 60 years, and I'm using this opportunity to advise my brothers and sisters in the South that, look, the country as it is has witnessed a group of people that are informed by an ideology to orchestrate the most devastating act of ending human lives in Nigeria. And the target are Christian-dominated areas and the Southerners. I'd like to tell you that the government will not come to help you. That's true. And the only person that can help you to save your life is that man you see when you walk into the bedroom and look into the mirror. The first natural instinct of any newborn baby is survival. So you have to protect yourself. I can tell you that this group of people that have decided to unleash this mayhem in Nigeria don't have the slightest regard for your life. So it is either you choose to preserve yourself or your life is worth less than the life of a chicken. Only yesterday or day before yesterday, somewhere in Plateau State that is called Bassa, over 50 lives were lost because of an ideology. And the government in power seems to feign ignorance of these happenings. And I, as a Southerner, will not sit back and watch my brothers and sisters taken for granted. We know they carry last. We know they carry last, and this must end now. We cannot sit back and watch people use the guise of cattle herding to take over my land. Yesterday, I was on a live video and I had two intriguing and yet interesting guests on my show. One Hausa guy, one Kanuri guy, and one Yoruba guy. It appears even in the most deplorable state of this country, some people are still hinged on their tribal proclivity and religious bias. This must stop now. If we must be in this country and some people believe that the lives of their people is worth more than the lives of others, we say no. We say no. Our lives are far more important. We spend a lot to improve the life of a Southerner. We do not carry plates from the south to the north. We walk around with development. We walk around with improvement. We walk around with trying to improve the environment we find ourselves in, even if it's in the south or in the north. Now, there are people who have decided that you are targeted for elimination. It is now left to you whether you are ready to defend yourself and protect yourself and protect your children and the ones yet unborn, or you sell the heritage that your forefathers left for you to some unscrupulous pedophiles that have decided that they are moved and fueled by a retrogressive ideology to annihilate people from their ancestral home. Protect yourself. The government will not come and protect you. If you catch anybody, don't video that person. Take and go backyard. My name is Magnus Oraka.
Now, the video you
Please.
listened to is from Mr. Oraka. Oraka is a Biafran, but he chose not to identify as a Biafran. It is his human right. It is his personal right not to. We allow anybody who wishes not to. But we know it because of fear. We want you to listen to those keywords that he used again. He said, without mixing words, don't wait for the government. The government is never going to help you. It's not going to help you today. It's not going to help you tomorrow. It's not going to help you forever. Because the government is already complicit in this reign of terror. This man was the man that was campaigning for Labour Party candidate Gregory Peter Obi, because he believed in one Nigeria, let us assume. Today, he is telling you, let us stop the pretense that this is not working. Who do you want to hear this thing from before you accept our crave for self-determination? When you were calling for your own self-determination, why did you think it was a right thing and today our own is not a right thing? Would you have been happy that those countries, those nations of the world that supported you worked with Russia or USSR against you? Would you have been happy? Then, if you don't see it as the right thing to do, or for those nations that supported you instead of supporting Russia, why then do you think it is right today that you work with Nigeria against us? This video you just heard from the Nigerian DSS bulls, from this man, is it not evident that everybody actually know that the Nigerian state is an accomplice in the reign of terror? What else do you want to hear? Now the DSS bulls is saying the government will not protect you. Protect yourself. The bulk of the work, the government don't even have the capacity. Because there is a time when you involve yourself in something big, the person will blackmail you blue and black if you go against them. So you better keep mute. And on the other case, you are totally involved. So either or the both are the case in the Nigerian Biafran case. The reign of terror is not only common amongst the Biafran people, but it is peculiar because these oppressors, these terror-prone people, see us as the only people that are resisting them. So they make it a point of duty to get us off the way, that the other people will be a walkover assignment. If the DSS boss is saying this, and if you actually said that the Nigerian state should release Mazen Nandekano, I want to ask you, Finland, the Finnish people, the Finnish citizens, can you help us to ask your government, why did they support EU to tell the Nigerian state to release Mazen Nandekano, even though it was a lip service? Because if they had meant it, they would have been doling out sanctions upon sanctions on the Nigerian state that would frustrate Nigerian state into releasing Nandekano, our supreme leader. If they are calling for the release of Nandekano, what did Nandekano do that Nigerian state went after him? You don't know? I don't want to stress you with my question. I will answer it straight away. Nandekano said enough of humiliation, enough of tribulation, enough of the marginalization, enough of the inhuman treatment against my people, enough of the taking of our lives, enough of it. Now, I want my people to pick up arms to defend themselves, else they will be wiped out of the surface of the earth, just like the DSS bulls, the Oraka, that is the second man I just played the video, also said. But this is why they went after him and eventually kidnapped him. This is just what he was craving for. His people should be allowed to go. Since we are not welcome here in this state arrangement, allow us to go and organize ourselves. That was the crime. Then what is the crime of Simon Ekpa? Simon Ekpa said You kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu so that the fire of the agitation will go, that our people will continue to be taken, that our people will be wiped off with nobody protecting them, that our people will go in hiding out of fear. And he said somebody must fill the gap. That was why he stepped forward. And he continued. The Nnamdi Kanu that we said should be allowed to go said that our forests should no longer accommodate terrorists and those who are giving them coverage on our roads, who will aid them to execute their terror in uniform, should also leave our roads. Failure to do that, they will be met with equal firepower. That was Nnamdi Kanu's command. That same thing Simon continued with. And he posted this, like I said in my last program, every now and then he was posting all his activities in his Twitter handle. Is there anything Simon did that is not in the public space? Then on what parameter are you holding him? Against what backdrop? Are you incriminating him? What can you hold outside what Nnamdi Kanu was doing, which you know is in track, or is on track, is right, is just, is in tandem with international laws? That an occupying army should not be allowed to have a field day, especially when they target the lives of the owners of the land. What is the crime? Finland citizens who still have some conscience left in them, I want you to imagine that you are the one wearing this shoe. Imagine the pain we feel in our legs, the heat, the bruises that this shoe is causing us. How come a state in the 21st century is approbating and reprobating? You are saying yes and saying no at the same time. How come you want us to believe you are confused when you are aware of everything happening to us? Simon was sent by God to fill the vacuum that he did with all his energy, with all his strength, with all his might, with all his dedication. He committed his night, his day, his morning to this cause, and was always showcasing the goodness of Finland. How come Finland is playing along with our oppressors? I want to take a little departure, or let me take you to another video. It will be very brief. Please watch this.
In 2021, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, a British citizen, was abducted by Nigerian security forces in Nairobi, Kenya. Since this detention, he has been subjected to torture and many other unpleasantries. A United Nations Rights Council report released a damning assessment of Nigeria's government's treatment and called for his immediate release. My right honourable friend from Camberwell and Peckham has worked tirelessly on behalf of Mr Kanu and is urging the Foreign Secretary to do more to secure his release. Nigeria is a Commonwealth nation that receives tens of millions in UK aid. It is one of the biggest benefactors of aid. Part of this aid support must be a commitment to human rights and upholding the right to fair trials. Mr Canoe must be given access to a fair and due process. A British citizen travelling on the British passport should not be kidnapped in a third country and dragged to a Nigerian prison.
You are welcome back. The video you watched is from TVC, Television Continental, that is owned by the current Nigerian president, Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's one of the most popular Nigerian television outfits. There, you can see those correspondences. You can see the different journalists from different media houses. You can see the microphones there. You see channel, you see other ones, and you see the rest of them. To tell you that it was not a backyard arrangement. Here, the UK Parliament were telling Nigerian state, or they were preparing to go retrieve their citizen from Nigerian state against the will of some of the political hegemons in UK, some of the British political hegemons. That is why you see the fate that is about to befall UK today. So that is why I want the Finland people, the Finnish people, not to allow the fate of UK, because currently UK is in a fix. They might not come out from this. Maybe it is not yet clear to some of you. We wear the political, spiritological lenses and we see things before it comes open to the ordinary man. UK, Britain is in a fix already. Yes. That is why we want you not to tie yourself into a yoke that you will find hectic, you will find enigmatic getting away from. Keep on enjoying your freedom, keep on enjoying your good life, keep on enjoying your God assistance, your God-given peace. Don't allow greed. Don't allow your government to bring in greed. Greed is destructive. It is a very negative threat. In that you saw that the parliament want to retrieve their citizen from Nigeria who kidnapped him. You are with your own citizen. Your citizen is making you proud, or was making you proud until his arrest. Finland people should pride in their citizens' ability to stop terrorists from attacking human race. It should be a thing of joy that it is your citizen, your fellow citizen, that is stopping, waging the evil doers from carrying out successful attacks. It should be a thing of joy. It should be a plus to you. That aside, the United Nations department, with arbitrary commission, or said, look at it, the United Nations said that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. The department, it was United Nations have departments, each department have responsibility. The department on human rights said that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. Because of Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria was not voted in last year when she wanted to be a member of the United Nations Human Rights Commission because of flagrant abuse or violation of people's human rights. Cases abound. Cases abound. Let me also point to you what the Amnesty International did or said while in the African Independent Television, AIT. Please join us.
Igbos in Nigeria, 73% said sometimes or always they were treated unfairly by the government. This is last year. This is the highest rate of any ethnic group surveyed in Africa. In their view, they are sometimes or always treated unfairly by the government.
So it's issue of injustice?
It is a deep grievance, and it's a disconnect from the Nigeria project, as was mentioned earlier. And I mentioned that number just to underscore the underlying grievance that has to be addressed. So amnesty is potentially part of a package, but the disconnect has to be addressed, and the Southeast is a core pillar of the Nigeria project. Comes back to the discussion of its importance. So all of these issues that are being discussed are inherently political. They're being seen through a political lens. For example, infrastructure development. The grievance is you have a very productive region that is exporting not just to Nigeria, but internationally. You have, I think, Imo and Anambra are number 4 and number 6 for GDP in Nigeria. And that was in 2021, which was a very violent year. So even amidst the violence, three of the 5 states in Southeast are in the top 12 for GDP per capita, yet there's no seaport. The bridges are not good, the roads are not good. So it is a development and infrastructure issue, but it's seen through a political lens as a political grievance. And the same with security, which is you have significant deployment of security forces, yet the perception is the DPOs are not from Southeast, many of the officers are not from Southeast, they are not necessarily well-versed in the local context, and so they're not performing the role of community security in a way that they or other communities would expect. So that's a security issue, yes, but it's also perceived through a political lens, and it's the same with federal appointments and involvement in governance. So these are development, these are policy, these are economic issues, but they're seen through a broader political lens that they're not being kind of fairly adjudicated. And I think that's really important to underscore. So amnesty as part of a package may be a solution, but the underlying grievances have to be addressed with an understanding of the political perception, how the infrastructure problems, how the economic problems, how the security issues are perceived politically, and what it means to have a more representative involvement in those efforts from a Southeast perspective. Yes, it has to be a multi-stakeholder approach. The sensitive issues have to be addressed, and there needs to be involvement of the key stakeholders as this initiative is doing. That being said, in contexts like this, you might not move everybody over. You might not convince everybody. But where you make a serious effort and where you provide legitimate avenues, you will see a significant reduction in popular grievance that draws down support for extremism and makes it very difficult to operate. So a multi-stakeholder approach doesn't immediately solve all the problems, but it changes the trajectory, and it moves a lot of the public into using or trying to use the legitimate mechanisms again, as opposed to staying on the sidelines or even supporting extremist activity. So it's where you need to start, and it's the direction that you need to go. Igbos in Nigeria, 73% said sometimes or always they were treated unfairly by the government. This is last year. This is the highest rate of any ethnic group surveyed in Africa. In their view, they are sometimes or always treated unfairly by the government.
So is issue of injustice?
It is a deep grievance, and it's a disconnect from the Nigeria project, as was mentioned earlier. And I mentioned that number just to underscore the underlying grievance that has to be addressed. So amnesty is potentially part of a package, but the disconnect has to be addressed, and the Southeast is a core pillar of the Nigeria project. Comes back to the discussion of its importance. So all of these issues that are being discussed are inherently political. They're being seen through a political lens. For example, infrastructure development. The grievance is you have a very productive region that is exporting not just to Nigeria, but internationally. You have, I think, Imo and Anambra are number 4 and number 6 for GDP in Nigeria. And that was in 2021, which was a very violent year. So even amidst the violence, three of the 5 states in Southeast are in the top 12 for GDP per capita, yet there's no seaport. The bridges are not good, the roads are not good. So it is a development and infrastructure issue, but it's seen through a political lens as a political grievance. The same with security, which is you have significant deployment of security forces, yet the perception is the DPOs are not from Southeast, many of the officers are not from Southeast, they are not necessarily well-versed in the local context, and so they're not performing the role of community security in a way that they or other communities would expect. So that's a security issue, yes, but it's also perceived through a political lens, and it's the same with federal appointments and involvement in governance. So these are development, these are policy, these are economic issues, but they're seen through a broader political lens that they're not being kind of fairly adjudicated. And I think that's really important to underscore. So amnesty as part of a package may be a solution, but the underlying grievances have to be addressed with an understanding of the political perception, how the infrastructure problems, how the economic problems, how the security issues are perceived politically, and what it means to have more representative involvement in those efforts from a Southeast perspective.
You have seen what Amnesty International, who are also foreign nationals in Nigeria, they were bold to do what we expect Finland to do. They were speaking truth to power. That these Biafran people, especially the Igbos, they have been so marginalized. In fact, he said the Biafran people as a whole, the people of the South-East, South-South. And he accepted the fact, he owned up the fact that these people that are being this marginalized, they are contributing immensely to the growth and development of Nigeria. That is to say, if these people are allowed, if they are given the privilege of normal citizens, that Nigeria will not be where it is. That in infrastructure, in every area of life that these people are so deprived, they are treated with disdain. They are treated like outcasts in a country that is supposed to be theirs. So nobody, he said, he went as far as saying that in the whole of Africa, that these people are the most marginalized. The same cry Nnamdi Kanu, our supreme leader, cried. The same cry you heard our grandpapa Petron let Chief Dim Chukwuemeka Odumegwu, the warlord of blessed memory. The same cry that you heard Simon, your citizen, always crying. The same thing all of us are crying about. We are so marginalized. This is what foreign nationals are saying about us. Then I wonder, how come you don't know about this? Rather, you want to pretend that what the politicians are telling you, reporting against Simon, should be a valid report. You are pretending as if you don't know. It is all lies and cooked up to stop the struggle. Your government is pretending, not you, the Finnish citizens. Call your government to order. Call Sir Alexander Stubb, call the Prime Minister, the Chief of the President of the Finnish Supreme Court, and all people that matter. Call them to order. Tell them that they should not attract the wrath of nature. They should not attract karma. So, I want you to consider these things. When President Muhammadu Buhari was alive, was still the president of Nigeria, the reign of terror was ongoing. It was also in the peak of it. A certain foreign nationals, whom I think they were also still of the Amnesty International, they were asking him, does it mean you are not aware of the marginalization, the tribulation that these people are undergoing? Does it mean you are not aware how the Igbo Biafrans that were protesting in the street of Port Harcourt were maimed, in the streets of Anambra were maimed, massacred, in the streets of Ebonyi State were massacred, everywhere just for protesting? The lady, in fact, watch her.
They are protesting peacefully for the most part on a regular basis, and there has been video. I could show you some video that's been posted of a very...
No, thank you.
These are the images the president didn't want to see. They're on the internet and we can't verify exactly what they show, but it appears as though security forces were shooting at unarmed protesters in the southeastern state of Abia. This is footage I can't personally verify, but it looks as though the security forces have gone in very heavy-handedly shooting, and there were reported to be 7 deaths. I'm wondering, how are you planning to deal with this issue of Biafra? You, of course, have first-hand experience.
Put a 30-month civil war, at least 2 million Nigerians were killed. And for somebody to wake up, maybe he wasn't born when there was just fighting in Biafra and said he was Biafra again.
Okay, you just heard her asking the president, what are you doing? How do you explain these things? It happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100 times. And all you have to tell the people or the world is that maybe those who are asking for Biafra, that because that the Biafra, when they asked for Biafra in the 1967, 70s, that more than 2 million lives were taken just for asking for Biafra. And your answer is, maybe those who are asking for this Biafra again were not born then. So if they had known how much you people took their lives in millions, thank God it's coming from the president. So if they know, if they had witnessed the dying, and you still have the gut to call them the Nigerians, that they wouldn't have asked for it again. So you live in a world of your own now, and you are a member of United Nations. So for asking for Biafra, you had to take millions of lives. That is what Nigerian president said you heard him. So I don't know why you can't be bold to call a spade a spade. This is what somebody is saying as a leader in the 21st century. And when I turn out to tell you that there are no leaders in Nigeria, you think it's overstatement. We have only rulers, the principalities and powers and workers of iniquity. Those who no longer have no conscience. Those who say that Mieti Allah, a terrorist organization, the killer squad, that prides in their terror activities, is a principal stakeholder in the Nigerian state. These are the people you want us to exist together with in the 21st century. No. No. You are wrong. That's not right. It's wrong to say. It's wrong to do. To even think. Let us not also listen alone to ordinary people. Let's listen to a Nigerian retired general, a prominent Nigerian army general, General T.Y. Danjuma. T.Y. Danjuma. You will listen to him now, and then you know how serious the matter is. He is not a Biafran. He is of the northern Nigeria, but the middle belt, where you have predominantly Christians. Their community that partook, that assisted the Fulani people in the Holocaust, where all of them gathered with the foreign powers, the superpowers of the world, to annihilate us. And our then leader, who was a spiritual man like we're having today, Oduku said, those who took part in this against his people, that the sword of destruction will never leave their communities. That there will always be sword and taking of lives, even without provocation. That they will pass through this, and that his people will not have a hand in it. People entirely different from our people will always visit them with wrath, that they will understand what it costs, how it feels to make other people suffer pain. See, all the people that are involved, their communities will never have peace. There will be consistent and provoked attacks on their communities. That has been happening. This is also the very reason I'm asking you, please. This, our Biafran issue, is not totally carnal. It's not totally physical. There is an element of spiritual connections to it. If you, because of economic gain, allow yourself to get caught in the middle of this whole evil, you should also be comfortable to accept the wages of sin in the fullness of time. The local costs them, and today sword is dwelling amongst them when there is no reason. You will listen to T.Y. Danjuma.
To please come forward for the remarks, sir. Some few years ago, I warned that the armed forces are either not capable or unwilling to protect us, and that we must defend ourselves. The first denial of what I said came from the Ministry of Defense. They said I was lying. And they set up a kangaroo board of inquiry to investigate the truth or otherwise of what I spoke. And they invited me to come and testify. I did not go. I did not go. They wrote that report which said that I was only speculating, that there was no evidence. And now there is evidence. The whole country now is being run and overrun. And one very clear thing that is happening is that these foreign invaders, they are not even Muslims. A lot of the casualties inflicted on the land are on Muslims. They are destroying even mosques, but they were allowed to come into the country by our government. Now, as a soldier, my training teaches me that the best defense is attack. Right now, we are all sitting ducks. These people are armed to the teeth with all the weapons of mass destruction, and we don't have you. But we have the numbers, and the land belongs to us. They are trying to recolonize us and take over our land. Can I allow you to defend yourselves? Your Majesty, you heard what you said. You must then unite our people. A lot of the attacks that I got was from our people. They said I told them to defend themselves. I didn't give them arms. I will not give you arms. Find out how these people who have it got it. Use the same means to defend you, to defend yourself. this beautiful land called Nigeria, the biggest country for black men in the whole world, is being brought to ruins by absolutely useless criminals. But how did they get here? How did they get here? Most of them are foreigners. Of course, we know there are collaborators among them. Some of them may be even here. So my prayer is that God Almighty that has given us this land will give us the courage to face up to our enemy and locate where he is and root him out, drive him out of the country. This we must do. Otherwise, Nigeria is finished. Thank you.
All right. Now, you just listened to General retired T.Y. Danjuma, the very powerful Nigerian general. Is one of those generals who own Nigerian oil wells, oil block licenses, in the big numbers of it. You heard what he's saying. He is from the Middle Belt. I gave you the background where his people, the Middle Belt people, were deceived by the Fulani to join them in carrying out aggression against the Biafran people with the collusion of Western powers, of superpowers. This time, not just Western powers, including USSR. So, the Biafran people, I told you, have a lot of spiritual connections in whatever they're doing. To have fought the superpowers alongside all these people that gathered together from home. It is a miracle that we are still surviving to today. The General T.Y. Danjuma here said that when he first brought the allegation last time, they said they invited him over to come and make clarifications and point fingers and be very specific and all of that. He said he's not coming because they know what he's talking about. He refused all the invitation because he said, according to him, that these men all know what he is talking about. He said that the government, like Abacha, the late head of state, Abacha, General Sani Abacha, said that when terror passes one day in a land, that the government hand is in it. But he is not basing his assertion on what Abacha said. He is basing it on what is real in this issue at hand. That the government powers, the government people, the military, said that the military is unwilling, not ready, because they are syndicates in this crime. That is why he was, or that is why he is, because I'm using that time now, admonishing that everybody should pick up arms and defend themselves. Now I want you to connect back to what Magnus Oraka said. This is exact words of Magnus Oraka, the man who is a Biafran but is not willing to accept it, which is his right. rather prefer to support Peter Obi, whom he knows, although I'm not sure he will do that again, but there is no hope there, because the Fulani will never allow that to happen, an Igbo man to rule over them. Now, Tiwa Danjuma said he was invited, but as at that time he said it, they wanted evidence. They said, oh, if you bring evidence, if you bring it. He said that time they were asking for the evidence, even though he had it, he wasn't willing to go. He said this time now, that the evidence is all over, that it would be madness for anybody to ask for evidence again this time. Look at the one he said before that made them ask for evidence. Please watch again and see.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
You heard him. He said there is military collusion. The military collude. The same way the Middle Belters colluded with the Fulani to shoot at the Biafran people. Today the military collude to unleash terror. So whenever you are seeing this act of terrorism everywhere in the country, there is always collusion. Collusion of foreign powers, collusion of the African comprador bourgeoisie, the collusion of the military. There is always collusion. That is it. Now, permit me also to take you from the same Middle Belt. Let me take you to the then former immediate past governor of Benue State, Governor Otom. So what Otom said, you need to listen to Otom so that you hear. I want to carefully take you until I show you now what those governors that are writing petition against Simon Ekpa, those evil people writing petition against Simon Ekpa, who also want Nnamdi Kanu, our supreme leader, not to be released. I show you their activities, what is happening in their states, so that you know and be the judge in this case. Let me take you to Otom. Please watch Otom.
Equity and fairness. Whatever is happening to a Fulani man should also happen to any other person. That was why I called the federal government to license me and many others to have guns, to have AK-47 too. Because if I have my AK-47, a Fulani man is coming there, he knows that I have and he has, then we can fight each other. But you can't disarm me and arm a Fulani man. This is the point. So this.
You heard the governor, Otom. He said that the government deliberately gives or allows this their beloved terrorist people, Fulani, access to gun, super military equipment, to go into our farmlands, to go into our homes, to wreak havoc. And for you to know how evil this state and the government of Nigeria is about, is to know how serious they are about in this issue of sponsoring these people. They give these people and make sure they seize everything that looks like gold from all the communities where these Fulani people enters. Why the Fulani people are armed or allowed to move freely with this big military equipment, the communities where they are coming, no man is allowed to even move around with cutlass in the broad daylight. Even local hunters are told to surrender their hunting then gun. That is what we are hearing the author, the governor here, cry out. Why are you doing this? The government of Nigeria, why are you doing this? Why do you keep allowing this? And that is why I keep crying that you are accomplice. That's why I keep calling, because there is no other explanation to this. Why you will bring in people who are practically aliens, who are not even Nigerians. They come to my land, go to my bushes, come to my house, come to my neighboring, and move around with guns and other military equipment. And me, the owner of the land, I am not even allowed with cutlass in the broad daylight. The little things we have, you gather them. You force everybody to surrender it, thereby making us absolutely vulnerable to these people's attacks. Are you getting the connection, dear Finnish people? This program is for the Finland people and the whole of Scandinavia, so that they will know that Simon Ekpa is fighting a just cause and he should be released with immediate effect, so that he will do whatever is possible. And possibly you, Finland and the Scandinavians, should support us like you should also support the Amazonians, whom you are also holding, their leader, Dr. Chu Ayaba. Release and assist them to resist these people who are going on wanton, unaliving of human beings who they cannot create. Can you see why we are crying? Now you can see that it is the government, it is the state, it is the politicians, not Nnamdi Kanu, not Simon Ekpa. They are not the ones carrying the crowd. Rather, the people who want to stop them desperately carry these crimes and give a cover up for it to hang it on the neck of these two people God brought to save our people, that the world will see them as evil people against the real good people they are, the saviors God made them over their people. And in so doing, they will continually have this kind of state arrangement where not up to 6% of the population are having a very good life, like the political class and the bourgeois are having in the Nigerian state arrangements. This is just
in their farms. There's a camp in Ovia here. It's just a farm settlement. It's a camp. The people were sleeping at night, and then herdsmen or terrorists. We shouldn't actually be using the word herdsmen. Terrorists went to those camps, slaughtered them in the night. We have about 7 dead bodies lying there. And I'm telling you things that have happened within the last 1 month.
You can hear the man saying, they are not just fomenting trouble. We should stop also calling them the cattle, the herdsmen or bandits. No. That he begged to disagree with that. Because if we keep on allowing them using the nomenclature to fool us. We will be playing down on the gravity of the damage they have caused our society. That these people are just the terrorists they are. You heard what he said they do. And they derive joy. It is a thing of pleasure. Why you derive pleasure in maybe you have fun, maybe watching football or doing any social activity, they derive pleasure in seeing other people groan in pain, weep for losses. That's what they pleasure in. And that is why we cannot continue to cohabit with them. We cannot continue to exist together in a political arrangement with them. Let them be, let us be. At least what that man said about them is enough for you. It's enough. I don't know what next. You see every day, every now and then, our people are kidnapped for ransom. They come to our land. I explained this in the other program I did 3 days or thereabout ago. They come all over from the northern Nigeria and from the Sahel region, from the other parts of the world where they are gathered. In the next program, I will show you how these people are recycled, how these people are gathered from all over the world because of an agenda. The same way you, the Finland people, cry about the agenda of the jihadists within the Middle East. Who are hell-bent on erasing the Jews. That same agenda is what these jihadists are bringing forth, have been bringing to take us off their way, off our own land, not even their way. When you talk, they will tell you, oh, this is Zionist and this is. The other day, these people who derive joy in terror, they bombarded a certain part, an oil reserve part of Saudi Arabia. They went to Saudi Arabia, they launched attack. There was around 2-3 years ago. These same people who derive pleasure in, who don't like to see good things, they are attacking certain part of United Arab Emirates. I think around towards Abu Dhabi. But the God of the peaceful Arab world, because there is peaceful Arab world who don't take part in terror, always came to their rescue and nobody heard about it because they don't want trouble. Then you ask yourself, for those who think this should just be about generalizing Islam, it is not about Islam. It is because some people want to hide under the coverage of Islam to carry out evil. It's not Islam. Islam does not tell anybody to be evil. Because I know some Arabic people who have not in any way, they never contemplated attacking anybody, they never contemplated, they never derive joy, they find it even difficult seeing the blood of another man. There are. I know them. I know the Arabic countries. Have you heard United Arab Emirates? Have you heard Oman? Have you heard some of these people attacking other people? They derive pleasure in developing their own land and having a peaceful human environment. Let me not deviate. See this video. These people are jubilating. See them flying monies. This is ransom. Where? In my land, in my Biafran land. They travel from all over the places they travel and come to my land and make me live in fear. Then they generate money that they will use to buy more weaponry to attack me. I give them the money. They kidnap me and they make me cough out even the money I don't have. I even borrow to give them as ransom. When you even give them this ransom, if it is only if you are lucky that they will let you go. That was why you can verify it. Abia State Governor, current Governor Alex Oti, went to a certain part of Abia State they call Lopanta, where these Fulani terrorists were given land as if they are doing cattle business there, without knowing that this was a den of lion, a den of wolves, a habitat for terrorists. When this governor went there with his entourage, they combed that place. It was littered with decomposed body of Abia and the other Biafran people who were kidnapped. Maybe their people did not bring ransom on time. Maybe their people did not bring ransom enough to suit these people. And maybe the person challenged them or struggled. So in some cases, they still collect the ransom and still waste the person. The forest was littered. If not that the governor of Abia State is a sincere, that is the only sincere man that is a governor in the Biafran land that is managing to be good. His colleagues will say it was IPOB. The man said this is the people that did it. Can you see? Can you see this? Now you can see what we are talking about. Ransom, more ransom. You see, ransom money. This is ransom money. For you to understand what I'm saying, I want you to watch the kidnapped prelates, Methodist prelates. First of all, I will tell you, watch the video first, then I will tell you about what happened here.
What pains me most is that these people told us that they are going to bring, after buying enough weapons, they'll bring all those that have been put in disarray, but driven away from Zamfara, Katsina, Zambisa forest, that they are all coming to locate themselves in Igbo land, that there's no security in Igbo land, that they will come there and then they will deal with us. And that the dumb man was just flippant. Maybe he took something. He said, do you know Ibadan? Lagos Expressway? We are in all the bush there. We're everywhere there. We're also in the south. So we are waiting for the slightest signal. We will finish you people and take over this land. So they claim that Nigeria belongs to Fulani. They said it. That is why we are afraid of, I've been talking about this open grazing and this Roga. Yeah. They have a plan. They have a plan. And I accuse the soldiers who are not non-Christians. Some of them are Fulani. They are part of it. Well, they are shooting this man. When our people wanted to comb the bush, the soldiers said, if you move a step with...
This Methodist prelate was kidnapped in Biafran land. He was using the Biafran road, but because we are called all one Nigeria, these people have rights to go every part. But the right does not extend to going to our bushes and forests. But because the military gives them coverage, they do that. When we have our internal vigilante and security, which you heard the DSS bulls advocating for, that we should have our local security, defend ourselves. When we do this, the Nigerian army don't allow us, and anybody who was what, in fact, time came when one Igbo politician called Ojo Carlo said he already had agreement with the then Buhari to release military to him, so that anybody found in vigilante activity in any Biafran bush should be seen as animal and be shot down as an animal. He was warning the Biafran people's parents, the Biafran parents, to warn their children. Anybody seen in the bush in the name of going to guard forest or whatever should be. These are the kind of people we are having. I gave you a story of Abia State Governor Dr. Ale Soti going to Lopanta, a certain place in Biafran land, where the Fulani people were given what is supposed to be a cattle market. But they live there and do everything there like their own community. They began now to terrorize the whole area. That place was given to the Biafran people by this same Ojo Rotana. So the politicians, I am coming to that, maybe I should not relate it, this particular part of the story in this particular program. But the storyline I wanted to point to is that our own indigenous Biafran politicians who are politicking in Nigerian state, they are worse than the Fulani to us. They can go to any length to indict us, to make us, paint us very dark, paint us black, to make the world see us evil, because they want to continue to communion with the Fulani people, who are their paymasters. The Fulani people have used terror such that if you don't agree with them, you cannot emerge as a political leader in your own part of the country. So you must work for them for you to be politically relevant and useful. That is why you see these are politicians. For any governor, you see the case of somebody being democratically elected and going to court, somebody that lost, the one that failed as one of the most failing to the fourth runner-up, was made governor ahead of the people that won election. And you ask them, they will tell you logicality, technicality, judgment of technicality, and all of that. So democracy has no place in this part of the world. Nothing like democracy. Now, when you see these things going on, this Methodist prelate was kidnapped. He was forced to bring, I think, 100 million naira. And they told him these things he was narrating. They were telling him that it is the money of these Biafran people, because they claim they are stubborn, that they will use to buy all the weapons they need to eliminate us. That they are already circled us. They are already in all our bushes. Some people, as at the time this man was making the confession, people who were sleeping now woke up. But there were some people who were as Thomas. They were more Thomas than the Thomas that we know in the Bible. They still didn't work them. Until these people started these attacks that is going around all the Biafran land now and some other parts of southern Nigeria. Everything they told these Methodist prelates is what they are carrying out today. So the man has been vindicated. These were the same people who were always being pretentious, playing along with the government of Nigeria. Today, the reality is hitting them in the face. Yes. Now you can see another group. See this, just watch this video, you hear what this group, what they are saying. Without fear, they are pointing it that the government and the politicians, even in the current government as it's constituted, are involved in the terror in the land. Even people from the same community will partake. This is how bad it is. Why we must end Nigeria. To have a new state that will be owned by the people.
If the security agencies do a thorough investigation, the killings in Benue, concerning these killings in Benue, many politicians will go down. And
what I want to say is because I'm also from Benue, and I want to clear you that there are facts, there are evidence from the speech of those same people we are accusing. Those same people from this same Abuja, they have gone to the state to make indicting speech, to indict and confirm that the killings in Benue are not ordinary. Let me tell you, there is an appointee of the President Buhari from this same Abuja who went home and said that if there is going to be any peace in Benue, the pot of food that was cooked by them must be returned to the front of their leader. If not, there is going to be no peace. So how do you justify that? We still have an instance where I was personally at a burial.
So you heard it from him. Their target is to Islamize everybody. That is simple. So Finland people and everybody who care to listen, I want to take my time to show you things today. I have not forgotten that I want to show you what is happening in the states of the people who wrote petition to Finland government to arrest Simon Ekpa. So that after this, I want you to, after this, begin to support us, because you would have seen the truth from whatever angle you want to look at it. Listen to this young lady from Benue. Listen to her story.
I don't have a village. The middle belt is bleeding. I do not have a village anymore because of Fulani headsmen. Every day, Fulani headsmen are unaliving people. My mother, we could not bury my mother. When my mother died, we had to give it 2 fucking months. Because the whole village was surrounded by Fulani headsmen. Kogi is gone. Benue is gone. Every day, Agatu people are running from their village because Fulani headsmen are attacking them. 2 months. When we buried my mother, we went to the soldier with the police. We did not stay. My mother is an important human being in that village. The first woman to earn an educational degree. The first woman to go to college of education in a village. So when she died, you would expect that the whole crowd will be sitting by my mother's grave. But what did we have? When we came, the village was gone. Nobody was there. Only few people had gone and they were waiting for us. And if not for tradition that the body must return back to the ancestors, where the ancestors are, we would have not buried my mother in the village. We came, the grave was already dug. We put my mama inside grave, pray, and we got out of the village immediately because we had the Fulani headsmen were coming. But Uromi 16, you guys are defending hunters. You're saying the gun is licensed. They went from Katsina to Port Harcourt to hunt. So you can go from Katsina to Port Harcourt to hunt. Did the state of Port Harcourt give those hunters an allocation site for them to hunt? Do they have approval from the Port Harcourt state government for them to hunt in Port Harcourt? Or people can just leave their states in the north and go to the south and the southwest and the middle belt to do whatever they like. Fulani headsmen must stop. The government must stand up. The middle belt is gone. People will be sleeping in the night. Fulani headsmen will come and attack people and unalive them and steal their properties. When did we get to that point? If you're fighting for Uromi 16, you must fight for the justice of the middle belt. You must fight for the justice of from place to place, unalive people. You cannot be selectively biased. You cannot come from the north and be pissed off that 16 of your brothers was unalive when every day people in my village were unalive and you said nothing. You said nothing.
You heard her. She didn't hide anything. We no longer have a village. That is the core of this message. Our people no longer have a village. IDP camps is what is littering every community now. IDP camps. Finland, are you preparing to accommodate us as refugees in Finland? Do you have any such plan? Why not release Simon to us? Our communities are running every day. When I will show you the governor that carried it on his own head to make sure Simon Ekpa never get released by your government, you will marvel. Some of them for the past 3 months, 4 months, no human being lives in certain communities. Why? What is our crime? You listen to this girl. We no longer have a village. People now bury their people's remains in the city. The fear of coming home because the Fulani terrorists who are government backed and sponsored and enabled have taken over. They are in charge. They are in charge. Is that not a big enough problem for you? You need to release Simon Ekpa to come to our rescue like he was doing. Please release him. You heard that lady. But that lady is only speaking the mind of the rest of the people who cannot speak up. Yes. If you think it is a lie, listen to the media press briefing by a sitting governor, the governor of Bayelsa State. They already stopped. They passed an anti-Ruga law. That was the law that the Benue people passed that made the sword of the Fulani continually not leaving their land. Because the Benue state government also passed that anti-Ruga law. And the Fulani had the temerity to ask. That was what our leader, Northern Kano, said. You will hear when he said. And the Fulani asked, why would you pass such law in your own state? What is the Ruga? That there should be no loitering of cattle. Look at it. Is in the next video Or maybe here, if when I see the how long this one took, then I know if I'll bring it here. Otherwise, I'll take it to the other one. We are running animal kingdom everywhere, left, right, and center. Cattle. Maybe I should even dedicate a special program to show you what it is. But today I must show you what is happening in those people that reported Simon to you. Yes. Now listen to the governor of Bayelsa State.
We reminded everybody that we have laws governing Bayelsa State, and one of it is anti-open grazing, and that nobody should bring his cattle or herds to Bayelsa and begin to go into farmlands, and harass and intimidate the rightful owners of the place. And I want to commend the security, because we actually went into it and ensured that anybody that was seen was so arrested, and we put the situation under control. And so going forward, I still want to charge you to be vigilant. And let us not allow our laws to be trampled upon by anybody in the state. That's the beauty of a federal system of government. You have federal government laws, you have state government laws.
You heard him. You heard the government. They passed anti-grazing law. The Fulani found it offensive for passing a law in their own state, in their own land. And the man, because you passed law, started unleashing terror everywhere. Because the Biafran land governors managed to also pass that law, especially the Abia State Afon State governor. Then, the current, in fact, those governors that pass it, they never noticed. The Fulani kept attacking their communities. Today, it is another reign of terror for doing what would guarantee the security of their own people. It's a problem. It's a big problem. But people turn out to say it is Simon. It is Simon, it is Simon, it is Simon. It is Simon, it is Simon. What is Simon here? Before I show you these governors and their communities, their own states, where they forced themselves, they are ruling over because they are not leading. Let me show you what Obadiah Malife. Obadiah Malife is the former Nigerian Central Bank Deputy Governor. He is from the middle belt of Nigeria. The people who were deceived that the Biafran people are their enemy by the Fulani. Fulani deceived them, and they joined hands to attack us all these years. This man, Obadiah Malife, visited history. His father told him what the Biafran war leader said, that because of the conspiracy, the Middle Belt people conspired, because the Middle Belt people accepted to conspire with the Biafran, the Fulani people who have targeted Biafran all along, that they will have the visitation of the wrath of Kama. Now the man said that all his people should join him to go and plead to the Igbo people and the rest of the Biafrans to forgive them, so that this curse will be reversed, that the sword of the enemy might depart from their house. did that, and then he exposed things. Because of that, the Fulani people who run the country, they came and they took his life. Before you watch the video, let me also remind you that his brother, Sir Alex Bade, who was also, I think, a commodore, his life for trying to expose the people in government who were equipping the terrorists. The man's life was cut short. They assassinated him. Finland people, you must hold your government accountable so that you don't share similar history like those who join hand to fight us are sharing today. At this point, I want to now take you to what is happening in the states of those governors, those evil people that reported Simon, that will be the petitioning Simon. Let us start by showing you the Enugu state, where Governor Peter Mba said he will be the one to champion or carry this thing in his head to make sure that Simon Ekpa never succeeds. Simon Ekpa is never released. Look at what is happening in his state.
Governor Peter Mba, the governor of Enugu State, if you have any link or any agreement with Fulani herdsmen, come out and public and tell the Enugu State. Since how many years now, the Yamufi is on fire? They are slaughtering people, massacring people. Today, our mothers, they came to do protests. Fulani herdsmen, they are sleeping with them. When they after sleeping with them, they will carry stick, put for their vagina. They are leaving our mothers, our sisters in the village. After they left them, they will carry stick, shoot for their vagina, wound them, slaughtering them. This is what is happening in Enugu State, and we have somebody that called himself governor. You never stand up as a governor to condemn the evil that is happening in your state. For how many years now, they are slaughtering people, both mothers, fathers, children, raping people in our movie village. And you call yourself a governor. You don't want to stand up to condemn it. You are keeping silent. You are keeping silent. If there is any agreement you have with Fulanis, come out public and say it. Some villagers in Emufi, some parts in Emufi, the villagers don't pack their property, run away, leave the house. Leave the house. The house is empty. The house is empty. They don't run. And Fulani has conquered the land. And you call yourself a governor. You don't want to stand up to give speech to condemn the evil that is happening in your state. It's a very shameful thing to you. If other pastors, other reverend fathers, other ministers of God, if they will tell you, it shall be well with you, it shall not be well with you. Highest only thing you can do to me is for you to use your political power to arrest me. That's the only thing you can do. But if you use your political power to arrest me, God of heaven will use heavenly power to judge you. That's what the people, you don't care. If you don't want to do a work of governor, you come out from that seat. What is happening? Our mothers are dying. Our brothers are dying in Enugu State. Because you don't care. Your family is an outside country. Your family is not in Enugu State, so you don't care. You don't care. They are slaughtering people, innocent people. We have been slaughtering by Fulani herdsmen and Boko Haram. And you call yourself a governor, you keep quiet. The same thing to Governor Ukwani, the former governor of Enugu State. The same thing to him. He couldn't do anything. What is happening to you people? What is happening to you people? You people cannot stand up to fight for your state, and you are keeping quiet.
The information reaching out to me right now is that on a Umuwoka arrest na Eyamufi Enugu State. Emana Kembe Umuwana Begome protest more than 5 times. Haputa Mesha protest. Haputakwa because government Pitamba any action Peter Mbacholi take to stop these Fulani herdsmen that are terrorizing this village. Now they are now arresting Umuwoke, Hana Umuwoke arrest right now as I'm talking to you. Hana Sana some Umuwoke na now. Some of them are Bogo also. Hana Sana those people Umuwoke na support. They are sponsoring Umuwanya protest Hana even some Undokada. In the market, Hamel protest on Colonial Tina police station. They are arresting some of the men Nayamufi right now.
Because I will problem Nayamufu. Problem I will Nayamufu Bondi Fulani. Come where Aaron Nokita, can the Fulani be the remake by Yono? I Bundi Hamufu, Ndati Wemaro, Ejiri Mari Hamufu, Yamunabia, Nali Boga, Mahaba, Libo, Hamufu, Aina Seke, Hamufu, Ndabaki Hamufu, Gajan to study in Hamufu, Mata, the Hamufu, they just about the Gajan to study. Because of Fundi Fulani, I am not a Bandi Fulani, who are Batano Bodani. There's a Jida, Abunadi, Obodani, Obodo Irina Sa, where Chupundi Madu, Ebainwe, Abuno Obono, Weruku, wherever in Akobo, wherever in Ulakuko, wherever in Ulagu, Nimagu Bani, Ebaibi, Lost Erenwa in the Candy, Nonavea, all of it sudden, on the planning where Bata, where be the Bundi Bani, a Kakan Bekaina Guano, Nahanebu, Otumba Guamadi 20, Otumba Mahabo 30, Otumba Better Madara, Otumba Better Madara, what is her plan name Begani? I know Tim Bukambe, now government of Enugu State, government of Nigeria, government of East local government, because in Iranyaka, Makanaquanoa, Abuna watch Umuwa in Ila Neva, and Abuno Metzere. Omer Mozadroni Hamfutata, Makania Merinos Adrabuna, only Hamfu Sabuna Haka Bunda Boda, see make a hammer and Habundo Boda. Government to get hunting. Abuna Habunda Boda, because government to be get hunting. Get when we can up down on order. Organo about Korubo, Undanili Neba, Bundis in a bear Abbey, where Quafu, where Latana Ban a Ben Mado, Agua Nebu, on the Banyu Mokorabanya would on Cantabo. Then on the no Baraketa, but Cantabo. Abuna can walk around in Megadani Hamfu, a Tina prison. Because the government of Enugu State, government of Nigeria, because in Iranyaka, Hamfu, because I know because in Iranyaka, I be acquiring a Quarunu, you don't know. Get a year go to Bundi Muru, Nabroni Flani Buddha, Marani Flani Buddha. Here Flani Bunda and Hana, the government, they call rights. Then in the Flani Borafi, Bobena Uborasa, where tire, only the Congress, government, on a bank, or more on where. Big on Lenin,
They hire hoodlums from outside the Imo State. They bring them in pretending to be IPO, and they commit this crime and they they go away. So it is not about IPO. Yes, we agree. We have aggrieved IPO members But I can tell you, those who are doing this destruction, most of them were brought from outside Imo State.
Apart from this, we have provided in the past how other Igbo and Biafran leaders, governors under Nigerian politics, have made different statements at different times, which supports what Imo State governor is saying here. That these things are not, all this crime are not perpetrated by IPOB. Rather, it is political rivals who carry out these things to eliminate their oppositions. And the safest name to give to it, to divert attention, is to give it to IPOB, because IPOB, the Biafran agitation, is already carrying on for self-defense. So it is the easiest thing to target. Without giving you much stress, look at the statement credited to the Abia State sitting governor, Dr. Alex Iti. And as you are looking at it, I want to thank you for your patience, for watching. It's not easy to dedicate, to give this long time to follow up. I encourage you to support us. Those who have never supported before should support us. Give voice to us. Call any influence you have, bring it. Call for Finland. Help us share this program. Help us make many more people to hear about it. Help us make it go viral. Help us sponsor it with your money, little money. Sponsor it with ad sponsor, so that it will really go viral, especially in the Scandinavian territories, that they might know really there is nobody that will listen to this from beginning to the end that will not know or understand innately that we are on a just course. So help us. If it warrants you cutting it, anyhow you do it, sponsor it to go viral. When we find out about ad sponsoring, you can copy it and paste on your own platform, or anyhow you want to do it, copy it, and then maybe on your Facebook you ad sponsor it. Maybe you use $10 to ad sponsor it. You can use $20 to ad sponsor it. Check what is ad sponsor. Ad sponsor is you tell those social media providers to help you make it go viral. You can show them locations where you want it to sell well. It can be in Rati, Finland. It can be in all the 4 Scandinavian countries or wherever. So let our plight to be heard in a coordinated manner. So more people who can do better than me should also come up, and let's get the fire burning. It is our cause. Nobody will fight our battle for us. It is our cause. We must carry it. As we go, we listen to the words of our supreme and indefatigable leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who will always enjoy the protection of heavens of the Supreme Creator.